I am paging Dr. Chanda.
I am the
Doctor.
and I'm a licensed clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Paging Dr. Chanda podcast, all things related to the Black culture.
Revolt. The doctor in front of your name.
What's up, family? It is Dr. Chanda. Tune in for another episode of Paging Dr. Chanda. All you have to do is keep watching. But listen, if you're just watching from the outside, just peeking through the window, I need you to commit. Come all the way in the house, and I need you to subscribe, like, and shoot me a comment in the comment section. I love responding to all of your comments. I love listening and reading how much you guys enjoy the topics that I'm talking about. So yeah, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and join the tribe. Stop scrolling for 1 second. This month, we are bringing back the psychology of Black women, the online class brought to you by yours truly, Dr. Chanda, licensed clinical psychologist. Y'all, I've been getting so many questions about why anxiety and depression presents differently in Black women. What do we do about it? How can we start to combat this? And what are some of the reasonings behind it? Listen, if you are a Black woman who has questions about anxiety and depression, it's something you experience or something your loved ones experience, or if you're a professional who works with Black women who experience anxiety and depression, I promise you this class is for you. Make sure that you sign up today. Hey, what's up, everybody? You are now tuned in to the Paging Dr. Chanda show, where we talk about all things related to life, culture, faith, mental health, and everything else under the sun. I'm your host, Dr. Chanda, licensed clinical psychologist, and I am here with none other than the revolutionary T.A. Thomas.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course, of
Yeah.
course. You know, I like to I call you revolutionary because the way you do R&B is so different from other
hmm
people. And so I'm
Yeah,
wondering if you can kind of start by introducing yourself, tell the people a little bit about you, and then we'll just hop into it.
for sure. What's up, y'all? My name is T.A. Thomas. And yeah, I'm here in LA by way of Mississippi. Been out here like 19 years. Yeah, I'm an R&B singer, you know what I'm saying? Grew up in church back down south in the Bible Belt. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
20 some years old.
What's 20 something?
I'm 29.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Yep. So,
Yeah, so okay, so you're an artist, you grew up
hmm
in Mississippi, raised in
hmm
church. Somebody told me
Yeah,
you was a PK.
yeah,
I don't know, is
yeah.
that true? Okay.
That's
Okay, so
true.
we're gonna
That's
have to talk
true.
about that then.
Yep.
But before we get into that, how was it growing up in Mississippi and then moving to LA?
Man, it was a big transition. Mississippi, the little town that I'm from is called Hollandale. It's like in the heart of Mississippi, probably like 15 minutes from the Mississippi River. Small town. Like my high school was like K through 12, all in the same building. It was only like 1,000 people in my
Wow.
hometown. Yeah, so coming from an area so small, no stoplights, to a city like Los Angeles, it was a good transition for me. It's easy to be creative here. You got the mountains, you got the water, and
Yeah.
adopting a healthier lifestyle and stuff is much different from the South.
It's literally kale on every corner in LA.
Man, look, they gonna kill me crazy.
They gonna kill you crazy.
For real.
Like, was that different? Like, I know it's been 10 years, but like going from
Look,
Mississippi where they have like bomb catfish and like, all the good
yeah,
soul
the
food.
crazy thing is, I was back down south recently. I was in Atlanta for a couple of sessions, and I was eating, and I had like a headache for like my first 3, 4 days because my body wasn't used to the sodium content. And
Yeah.
I'm talking about like, I'm like, yo, this is OD. They was like, "Yeah, nah, dog, you tripping? Like this joint is good." I'm like, LA, they done water me down, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time I go to LA, I feel like I get healthier. Not by choice though. It's just like this is all y'all got.
Yep, for real. No, that's real. That's real.
Yeah. So, okay, can you dig more into life as a PK, life is
Yeah,
growing up in church. What was that like for you?
man, it's crazy. So I started off as an MK, a minister's kid. And
Okay, MK.
a MK, I started off as
Yeah,
an
because there is
MK.
a difference.
There's a difference,
Yeah.
Start off as an MK. My sisters actually sang in church. And when I was a little jit, you know, my first love was the piano because after church service was over, or like during the ending of church service, I would get over and I would eye hustle on whoever the pianist or organist was, and I would go home and I would like vividly remember the patterns of their fingers. You know, it wasn't even about the notes because I didn't know how to read. So I kind of like self-taught myself. I taught myself how to play by, just looking at the piano after church.
Wow.
And I feel like church, learning how to play in church and singing in church is like it makes everything else so easier.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's about the feeling. It's about
Hmm.
tapping into something. It's about,
Hmm.
you can't be performing in flesh. You got to tap into the anointing and the Holy Ghost, you know what I'm saying? To be able to grab the crowd, you know what I'm saying? And people, I feel like in church, they know when you kind of singing and operating out of
Yeah.
flesh. I don't know. You
Uh-huh.
know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Oh, he got
So
too much flesh on him. He not in the
he got
spirit.
now he not in the spirit exactly.
Right.
So I feel like I'm so thankful for my church roots because
Yeah.
as it translate over to R&B, I feel like R&B is a feeling, and you got to be able to tap
Yeah.
into something to bring these lyrics to life and make people feel something.
Yeah, yeah. That makes me even think about like myself. So while I'm not currently I'm not doing music or whatever, but
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I'm like speaking to crowds or what have you,
Mm-hmm.
like I know how to move the audience because I flow with the
Yeah,
spirit, right?
that's what
And
I'm
so like when we
saying.
rap,
Yeah.
yeah, and like people be like, "Oh my God, I felt like I was in church. Like, what is it?" I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta ask
You
him.
just
Like,
you gotta ask him, you flowing, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like listen to your spirit, man, and being
yes.
able to like yield and be able to have your plans interrupted when it, just take lead.
And that's not something that anybody can teach you.
Nah, you can't learn it in school. Sometimes for my shows, I have rehearsal, and most of the time the rehearsal is literally for sound technical stuff. Because when I get to the actual show, we don't know what's gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
every show is different. It's different for me for rehearsal because I'm just like really just led by the energy of the crowd. And
Mhm.
then, with myself more so just like with the spirit.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
allowing yourself to kind of like use those same principles that you grew up in church, even
exactly.
in,
Yep.
yeah, on the stage.
Yep. Yep. Church
Yeah.
artist developer. First artist developer.
Say that again.
That's what's wrong with the kids. The kids don't go to church no more, man.
Listen, we're gonna get into that because Jermaine Dupri made a really powerful statement. I wanted to kind of
Yeah, I
pick
heard
your
him talk
brain.
about that. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Um, before we hop into that though, so like you talked about your ability to just learn via sight and sound or what have you, not taking any formal lessons. I wonder,
hmm
did that make you any different from like your counterparts in the industry currently who may have taken classes or what have you? Like, what's different?
Yeah, I feel like, just being able to catch on, chill out, man, my little dog barking. I feel like
Oh,
being able to catch on quick. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes when you read music and stuff like that, it take you a minute to kind of dive into the feeling, but when you learning how to play by ear, for
hmm,
myself, it's easier for me to kind of dive into the feeling of it because I'm not sticking towards a melody. I'm like feeling my way around it and like
hmm.
creating my own melody and feel, and it actually just make you like quick on your feet when learning music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not relying on the knowledge of man, like you literally just
Mm-hmm.
flowing by the spirit. I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
You I know we were talking earlier, you were saying, like, there are times where you let the spirit take over and you like, "I'm playing chords I never even played before."
You know what I'm
Like,
saying? It's like I can vividly remember being in a church service because before I started singing I was just playing. I used to play like at all the churches in my hometown. I used to back my mom up behind the keys and stuff.
okay.
Yeah, so I remember a time when I was learning how to play and there was this one service. I'm just like, yo, I'm going crazy. I'm like, yo, what's happening right now? I don't even know these chords. You know what I'm saying? It was a very spiritual moment for myself, I felt like, you know, as supernatural as the anointing is, man, that's really what it was. It
Yeah,
just kind of some way, somehow just happened. Supernatural moment.
yeah, yeah, I think that's so
Yeah.
fascinating. That's so fascinating.
Flowing in the spirit, man. It's
It's
different. You
different.
know what I'm saying? If you're not tapped, you don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's different.
But okay, so
Mhm,
flowing in the spirit, you have to be tapped. I know a lot of people who feel as though music is
mhm,
different right now.
mhm.
Right? It doesn't have that same flow that you're describing. And
Yeah,
Jermaine Dupri made a bold statement and said that music sounds different because we don't have kids who grew up in church like that anymore. And I wanted
yeah.
to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I agree, because it's all about the vibe now. It's the vibe and it's a vibe and all that shit. And I feel like labels and startup companies and music distribution companies kind of focus on virality, on
Mm,
what's going viral at the moment, and we forgot about artist development, and we
yes.
forgot about, you know, the artists that really stand for something, where when I see an artist now, or I write, so I get asked to work with a lot of artists, and sometimes I work with the artists and I'll be like, yo, what means something to you? I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, what's on your heart?
Yeah.
And you find in that process that a lot of them just, you can knock on their head, is just empty. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mhm.
and it's and going back to your to Jermaine Dupri's statement, and I've been saying this so long, kids growing up in church, man, it's just different. Church culture, especially black church culture. It's
Yes.
different, man. Soul comes
Yes.
from survival, so you can't fake this stuff. It's real. This from your ancestors, you know what I'm saying? Negro spiritual, you know what I'm saying?
It's African. Like it's
It's
literally in our ancestry.
it's in our
Like
DNA. It's in
yes.
our DNA, you know what I'm saying? You cannot fake the soul, man. And I
Nah.
feel like when you're raised in church, you're able to tap into that. You're
Yes.
able to tap into the spirit, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that little effect right there is what differentiate a Fantasia show, a Jasmine Sullivan show from a lot of these modern day artists.
A Duran Bernard show.
You feel what I'm saying?
Like
A Tank show, because these all church kids.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? I literally went to Roots Picnic, man, and I was just shaking my head watching Fantasia perform. I'm just like,
That
I'm like,
just
yo,
gives church. Like
yo, I'm just like, yo, this is ridiculous, man. Out here just singing down and just able
yes.
to captivate the crowd, man. We gotta have art. Once again, I feel like church was the first artist development. We gotta get
Yep.
kids going back, man, to tapping into the spirit. They got their crystals and their rocks and shit now. We got
Mm. Yeah,
throw
come
them
on.
rock.
You about to step on somebody's toe.
You know, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I
Nah.
just gotta keep it real. I'm a little
Nah.
old school traditional church.
Come
You
on.
know, I'm not really conformed to a lot of the new stuff. I
Yeah.
keep certain things traditional, and as it relates to my spirituality, I'm very
Mhm.
traditional. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can relate to that. And
Yeah.
I love that you said like there's a difference between going to somebody else's show versus these people who grew up in church. You're gonna see them move the crowd. You're gonna see them take their shoes
Mhm.
off, throw a towel in the like these are
You know what
things
I'm
that
saying?
like we do that in the black church.
Come on. Come on.
Like
What I said earlier is church and B, R&B worship.
come on. Okay, okay. But I said you gotta coin that though. Like you have to put
Yeah,
church and
church
be
and
on a
B.
t-shirt.
You know what's crazy? And I know Camper. So
Yes,
me and Camper about to do a joint project, and I think we're gonna name that joint Church and B.
as y'all should. As y'all should. Like, listen,
Yo, church
y'all
kid.
remind me of each other. The way y'all like talk about the
That's my
anointing and
brother,
how it
man.
influences. Yeah, he's dope. Like
Yeah,
so dope.
because the thing is, we can, I could do my thing. I ain't gonna lie, I can have a little drink, but when it comes to the word and spirit,
Mhm.
it's just always my passion and love for God, bro. It's just
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Come on.
Jesus Christ,
Jesus
man. Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
I'm so weak. Oh.
Uh,
Now, being in this industry though, with like so much that happens, um,
mhm.
in front of the stage or behind closed doors or whatever, a lot of
Yeah.
people talk about how the industry can influence them. And I
Mhm.
wonder, like, how do you keep your relationship with God, acknowledging Jesus Christ specifically,
Mhm.
in the midst of being in these types of environments?
It's just simple as spending time with God. You
Mm,
know, a lot of times you get people, they be like, folks come to LA and they just join the Illuminati. I'm just, no, it ain't that. Folks come out here and they get caught up and their attention is elsewhere, and they just simply stop spending time with God. You
wow.
know, every morning before I leave out, I try to have a little a moment of devotion. First of all, I try to have a moment of peace and quietness.
Hmm.
I just need everything still for a moment
I
and let me
like
just sit. You know what I'm saying? And I try to have devotion, whether I'm reading like uh, a paragraph or two, I'm just opening my Bible, whether I'm reading the word of the day and diving a little deeper. And I pray before, I try to at least spend a little moment or two. And when I'm in the shower, I try to, listen to some spiritual music, to just kind of get my day started. So I feel like as
Yeah.
simple as that, through Christ, I'm reminded who I am, you know, and I have a very close relationship with my family. So I feel like in
That's
this
important.
industry, a lot of people, yeah, forget who they are. I'm here for the gift, the works, but it's like who TA is, family, love. I like to cook. You know what I'm saying? It's just like my people keep reminding me who I am, and I
Yeah.
just keep family people around, and I just, spend that time with God to always remember who I am outside of my gifts in the industry being here in LA.
It can be so easy to lose yourself
Uh-huh.
and to lose your values, your identity when you're surrounded by so much. But you're saying, look, I have my identity in Christ. Like that's where I find my value in.
Come on, because ultimately I know why I'm doing it. You
Yeah.
know, it's not even about the money. And to go back to them days that I was playing and stuff in church, a lot of that stuff I was doing, I wasn't even getting paid. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I wasn't even somebody came in like, you're not getting paid. You need to stop. I'm like, man, I'm just having fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But those seeds I sowed then, I'm kind of reaping the harvest now.
Yep.
And it's just like, being here and now in this moment, it's just so easy to just forget. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Especially when you got people praising you and you got fans and you got
Yeah.
stuff like this, so I'm just always reminding myself and keeping people around that are also spiritual, but not so spiritual where it's like, what I'm saying, overly deep. It's just as simple as us just knowing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think that what you're describing there is so important though, because when you do things as a service unto the Lord, like you definitely reap the benefits of that, even if it's not monetarily.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
all the successful musicians that I know, like all grew
Mhm.
up in church, right? Um,
Yep.
but when they're not on tour with like Lauren Hill, Erica Badu, or whatever, they
They
back
back
home
playing in
playing the
church.
drums. Yeah, like they back home playing the
Exactly.
keys.
Exactly. Getting sharp, sharpening them skills.
Exactly.
And I go to church. I go to church when I can. Most of the time attending like online service, but when I can
Yeah.
go physically in person, I'm going to church. I'm inspired so much by the culture of Black church.
Yeah, it's different.
It's different,
It's
man. It's
different.
one of the most moving things on earth.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And we as a people, like we're super in tune with our spirituality. We're super in
Yep.
tune. Like, I remember just bringing some of my, you know, white friends to church
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
would just be so amazed that like, yo, this is different. Like you
It's
can feel
different.
the spirit here.
Hmm.
It's so
Hmm.
liberating.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
different.
It's
It's
different. It's
different.
different. All right,
For
so
real.
TA, who would you say is on your playlist? And it could be gospel or R&B.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we just gonna make it real. I'm gonna tell you what's on my recently added right now.
Come on.
This what's on my playlist right now, playlist I made this week. I got I got the internet. The internet. I don't know if you know that group. I got
I don't.
Blast. I
Okay.
got KC and JoJo.
Period. Period. Okay.
I got I got Ray Charles on the playlist. I
Come on,
got
Ray.
I've been listening to The Dream. I got Victoria Monet. I got Tim Rogers Quartet Group. I don't listen to a lot of stuff that's current unless it's like my friends. So I'm really like dabbling in a bunch of older music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm here for that because
Mhm.
my finding is that people who are well versed musically, like they tend to produce the best types of music, like the best
Yeah.
song. Like
Yep.
that
Yep.
because you have so much to be inspired from, so much to pull from.
Yep. True.
Yeah.
True. Yep.
Yeah. So tell us about like your projects that you're currently working on.
All right, so I'm working on this one project right now. I can't say the name, I can't say the date of release, but what I can tell you is this project is paying homage to being a preacher's kid.
Come on.
So, yeah, so this project is really diving into a lot of those elements of instrumentation that inspired me
Yeah.
to be an art and campers across this. And it's a lot. We approach these sessions so different. We went in, I'm like, ain't no track, turn the organ on. Where the drum at? I got I got camp in there playing the drum, the keyboard.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? And
Period.
I approach this kind of like I've been diving deep into like a lot of Motown and listen to a bunch of Ray Charles, and you listen to those tracks. A lot of that stuff wasn't automated. It was straight feeling, one
Okay.
take all the way through. And so I've been this project is it's gonna be very different. Yeah.
Church and B, right?
Church and B.
Church and B.
It's gonna be diving a lot into that, but once again, paying homage to home, Mississippi. Um, and yeah, yeah, it's gonna be nice. But I'm finna get ready to drop a single here in like 3 or 4 weeks. And it's gonna be one of them. It's gonna be
Okay.
one of them. It's gonna be
Okay.
one of them church and B. Like it's so churchy that it's funny.
But that's the music that we love though, because that church
Yeah,
feel is where you have the
yeah,
real singing, you have
yep,
the real like music, like it's
yeah,
complicated music, like we can
yeah,
hear it. We can
yeah,
hear the
yeah,
layers in it. Like
yep,
it's
yep, yep, yep.
I can describe it. Like it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this because just to have label partners and people that are invested in me and my musical career that allow me to just kind of be myself in the creative space. They not trying to too much, hey,
Yeah,
do this, do this. They like, nah, he kind of know what he doing. He like that. Like, they just kind of let me like do my thing. And I promise, like when you got that type of support behind your sound, you perform it different because it's really you.
absolutely.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? People be making these records. I'm like, you got to wear that suit when you get on the stage, don't
Come on.
it?
Come on. No, seriously. Like because
For
you can
real.
tell when it's unreal, when it's not who they are.
You know what I'm saying? And we all
Yeah.
as artists should be making stuff that are truly a part of us. I journal a lot.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I write. Writing have become my superpower. I lost my mom
Period.
back in 2019.
I'm sorry to
And
hear that.
yeah, yeah. And through like um therapy and through applying a lot of the stuff I learned through therapy, I learned that like, journaling, man, as it relates to songwriting, it kind of unlocks something here.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to these songs and some of these songs that's on this project, going back to talk about this project, a lot of that stuff is super vulnerable,
Mhm.
and it's probably gonna be one of my favorite projects to date.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I wanted to check in with you. I'm so sorry to hear
Hmm.
about your mother. Like
I appreciate
does
it.
writing, yeah, of course.
Hmm.
Does writing and like music, does that play a role in the way you're able to cope with it?
Absolutely, it does.
Okay.
I just writing in itself, like it's something so powerful in journaling. You've been been into psychology.
Mhm.
It's something about, it's almost like somebody listening to you.
Yeah, for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
it's like it's like a release. And sometimes I even tap into writing her a letter. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? It's just the expression of just letting it out. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I really can't even describe just like writing those words physically on paper, like how it just unlocks just a release in myself, especially, in the climate of men not being very vulnerable,
Mhm.
not being super open, when it came to this death and coping, I kind of found myself like felt the four walls caving in. I'm like,
Wow.
nah, bruh, we gotta do something. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So with journaling and making music and also connecting, just weird kind of how God just kind of connected me with certain guys that was dealing with loss of parents, like DJ Camp,
Yeah.
lost his
Yeah.
father, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So through that and also connect community,
Yeah.
man.
Those are
Hmm.
powerful ways to like get through because it's not easy. It's
Oh
not easy
no,
at all. Yeah.
nah.
Yeah.
Grieving don't come with a manual, so it's just like you
Absolutely not.
gotta you gotta try to. I feel like one, it's been almost 3 or 4 years now, and I feel
Mhm.
like I'm just now in the beginning parts of grief.
Yeah.
So crazy to say that, but it just feel like I'm just now at
Yeah.
the beginning of starting to even process what happened. Yep.
It well, it's not linear, so I'll
Yeah.
definitely say that it's
Hmm.
definitely not linear, and
Hmm.
if you feel like, this still feels like the beginning, that's perfectly okay. Like,
Hmm.
there's no rush in
Yeah.
the process.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
these records though, man,
Yeah,
they give me they give my grief a voice.
for
So,
sure. For
I'm
sure.
very thankful for music, being able to express myself in a way, that I know people all over the world may be able to connect with some of this subject matter and, just expressing myself through song.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And with the vulnerability that you share, people will be able to connect to that. So we appreciate that.
Yeah,
We see you.
100%. And as a
Yeah.
man, man, we
Yes.
we gotta be
Yes.
we gotta
Yep.
be we gotta be
Especially
tough
black
now.
men. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta be tough out here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
For
and that's
sure.
something that's a little different about my music too. My music is very vulnerable. Coming from a journal, it's like a
Yeah.
who out here got a, men ain't right from their mail diary. It's crazy to say that, but this subject matter, this stuff is like real. This stuff that actually happened, and this stuff, I probably wrote about it because I needed to like write about it to try to get through whatever it is,
Mhm.
So yeah, my work is very vulnerable, and I'm very thankful to see like my fans and young men to reach out to me. They like, dang, bro, I broke up with my shawty and I ain't really know what to say, so I had to send her one of your songs.
Wow.
What? You know what
Wow.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, it's really, really dope to hear guys kind of connect with the subject matter,
Mhm.
kind of giving them a voice too.
That's what I was gonna say. It sounds like you're
Hmm.
not just voicing your own emotions and concerns, but you're giving other people a voice, which is
Hmm.
powerful. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's dope.
I
Well, how
appreciate
can
it.
we? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
can we kind of continue to follow your journey and stay aware of
yeah.
when this single drops?
For sure, for sure. You can follow me on all social media platforms at TA Thomas, and you can follow my website at TA Thomas, and we keep it updated so you'll see all the performances and you'll see the single about to come out. The holidays coming up, so I got to release a couple holiday vibes.
Oh,
So
so we
yeah,
have some holiday music coming out.
we got some holiday music.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta do it up under the mistletoe. We gotta do it one time.
Period.
Yeah,
Look, so we are looking forward to it. T.A. Thomas, we do appreciate you for coming out today. Make sure that y'all
absolutely.
follow him and his journey. Yes, of course. Of course. Y'all are always welcome back.
Thank you.
Uh yes, for sure, for sure. So we'll stay connected with you and
For
y'all make
sure.
sure y'all stay connected with him. And don't forget, y'all, you have the power to create the emotions that you want to experience. See y'all.